Morning, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Love 500 and welcome back to the first day of the repair of Project Barry. Let's get straight into it. Okay, yes, welcome back to this Project Barry. Some other people, so let me just quickly explain. So the first video, the walk around video of this car went live yesterday on YouTube, and there was actually a couple of quite good suggestions of the name, but I've already called it Barry, so we'll keep it a Barry for now. But yeah, that was, I've forgotten what they were now. Skippy, that was it, as it was like a skip inside. Project Skippy was the one that I liked the best. But yeah, Project Barry. So, got a few bits to do today, as well as the car, and I'm going to incorporate that into getting new tyres on the front. So I know that one's gone, I can't remember now from the walk around. I think it was this one and the other front one are both knackered, bald, pretty much. I think it was this one as well. Yeah, it's not that brilliant. So what I'm going to do for the time being, I'm not sure about the back ones, but for the time being I've got to get a new tyre on my 500X. I say a new tyre, I've got an old wheel from it. I'll show you in a bit. I've got an old wheel that came off of my previous 16 plate one, which I think is exactly the same size tyres, and it's got a really good tyre on it. The wheel has got a big crack in it, so it was only ever on the car for not very long, and I took it for some work. Might have even been the MOT, and they told me the wheel was cracked. So I got a new wheel from eBay, and that one has sat in the shed and the garden ever since, and it's got a really good, almost brand new tyre, good tyre on it. So as I need a new tyre, and my 500X is having its first MOT on Friday, I thought I might as well get them swapped over. So while I'm doing that, I'm going to get some part warns on these two. So first things first, I'm going to get this. I was going to wash it, but because my neighbour's van's there, it makes it a bit awkward. So I'm not going to bother washing it for the time being. I'm going to leave it where it is. We've got plenty of room down each side. I'm going to get the front off and see if we can get this front done today. But first thing I'm going to do is get the wheels off. We'll have a proper look at them. We'll have a look at the brakes as well while we're there. See what they're like, see if they're going to need doing. And we'll go from there. So let's get it up in the air. Right, that's front wheels off. Up on axle stands, and I had a look at the rear tyres as well. That one's all right, but the other back one was on the way out as well. So there was still life in it, but that would come up definitely come up as an advisory on the MOT. I think there's very little there. It's all right there. There's probably a couple of mil there, but that would probably come up as an advisory. That one is probably about a mil there. And as you can see, they're completely bald. And this one's not much better. Again, couple of mil and about half a mil around the outside. So those tyres are well overdue. Well overdue. Possibly the reason she crashed, especially going by that one. If she'd had decent tyres on the car, she may not have crashed. Yes, right. Let's show you the brakes. Brakes are right actually. I think the pads probably need doing, but let me just quickly show you. So as you can see there, probably half, maybe just over half worn. The other side's not quite so good. Discs are fine, no lip at all. Minuscule this side, minuscule. Certainly don't need changing, that's for sure. Definitely not. You can see that they're not that old. They were probably done the same time as those pads. Pads are a bit worn. But the discs are fine. Let's show you this side. Same applies. Pads a bit, yeah, I mean that pad's lower. Disc again, yeah, no lip at all. Oh yeah, about the same actually, but you can see, as again you can see on that one, it's relatively new. So I've got pads. I think the pads are the same. The calipers are slightly different on the facelift because you've got this spring here, which you don't have on the on the pre-facelift. But I think the pads are the same. I will double check, of course, but I think they're the same. And what I've started doing now as well, although I might have some of the old stuff in the garage, is I've started buying Brembo pads. I'm doing my sister-in-law's car soon, service on that, and I bought Brembo pads because someone kindly on the channel told me that you get the pins that go through the calipers that hold the caliper in place. You get new pins with them, and I think I haven't opened them yet, but I think you might get 2 ABS wires as well. Sorry, not ABS, sorry, pad sensor wires. Where has it got pad sensor this side as well? Oh, it has, which is broken. Yeah, so this has got pad sensors both sides, and I've got a feeling you get 2 in the box. Yeah, it's strange that it hasn't come up on the display actually, unless it doesn't have brake pad wear sensors on a pop. Don't know. Anyway, so yeah, I need to load the car up with these tyres. I'm just going to go and get that one for the 500X, and I'll show you that one, and we'll double check, make sure it's the same size. Back in a sec. Right, so what we have here, this is the wheel, as I said, this is the wheel that was off of my black 500X, the first one I had, the one that I repaired. And it is a 225 45 18, and it's Continental as well, so it's a really good tyre. And as you can see, almost new. So I'm just going to go and check on the car. I think, pretty sure that that's the same size. I'm just going to go double check, and then we'll load up and we'll get down to the tyre place and get this done. Then when we get back, we'll put the wheels back on and get on with this front. Right, so I'm just recording this because I forgot to turn the mic on, so I thought I'd record it afterwards. So these are the new tyres, as you can see. Part worn tyres, a bit muddy, but 25 quid each. The 14 inches are 25 quid. Look, they're virtually new. So yeah, they're cheap Chinese ones, but they're 25 quid each. It's a no-brainer, isn't it? Really, they just needed a good clean, which I did give them after this video. Yeah, 25 quid. I also got the one done on the 500X as well. Got that swapped over, so that's ready for the MOT on Friday. I don't know why I was showing you lots more of it, but I did. What more can I say about some wheels? They need a clean. Yeah, so I did take them out into the back garden and give them a good jet wash. And I think I was just saying here that I was going to put the back one on, but I was just going to leave the front ones on. Leave the front ones off. As soon as we've got the car up in the air and we're going to do the front of the car, I thought I might as well just stick that one on, and that'd be it. Right, that's all the bolts undone on the bumper. Now it's a matter of pulling it off and hope that the bumper tabs, sorry, the wing tabs are intact, which I think certainly that one is, which is the worst one. Right. It's all hooked up a bit. Wow. Just got to unhook the DRLs. I'm never sure with these cables that are on the DRLs whether I should be leaving them on the DRLs and unhooking them there. This one's come undone. Whether you can feed them up there or not. I think you can, because these actually come out. I found out before, the actual clips themselves doesn't seem to want to come out, but they do. I don't want to force it, but I'll see if I can just prise out. So that other one has just fallen out. So I'm going to see if that will prise sideways and come out. Yeah, there you go. I don't know if that's how you meant to do it or not. I don't know if you meant to release it off of the actual light. I don't know if it matters. Don't know. I haven't done enough of these facelift ones to know. If you remember one of the previous facelift cars, I left them disconnected because I didn't even know what they were. Right. Okay, I'm not sure whether that radiator is alright or not. I think it is, but we'll inspect it further. Yeah, we'll inspect it further. It's certainly holding water, that's for sure. So yeah, let's have a look. I say it's only just got really a mark on there where the badger's pushed back on it. It's not damaged it as such. Okay, let's get this bumper out of the way for a minute. The bumper hasn't arrived yet, the new one. It's probably coming Wednesday. Let's have a look under here. So yeah, that's sort of pushed in a little bit, but it's nothing much. I think it'll be all right as long as all the mountings and everything, and the bottom mountings and everything is okay on this radiator. I don't see any need to replace it. To be fair, that's the bit that normally goes. It normally breaks just there. Just there. The top comes off and snaps. But it looks okay on this. It's literally, so it's obviously come from underneath, hasn't it? You can see from there where it's pushed that up. Headlights, I think the actual headlights themselves are okay. I think. We'll have a good look at that, but I think they are. I think we might get away with that. A bit scratched, but if it's just tabs and some scratches on the glass, then we can get away with it. The reason I took that out was because obviously I'm going to replace the wing, aren't I? So it's got to come out. I might even get that off today if see how we get on. But yeah, getting there. Right, let's get on with it. I'm going to take the front panel off, or release all the bolts off the front panel, release the radiator from the front panel, leave that in situ, at least for the time being, and see if anything else is damaged. Let's do it. There we go, all off. Pretty troublesome. Troubleless. Is that the right word? Troubleless? No bother. Easy. Although I've done these so many times. It's obviously easier with a pop because you've got no aircon to worry about. So these are all intact. The rubber's missing on that one, which I think is probably still on the front panel. If not, I've got spares of those. Oh no, it's on the floor here. Look, there it is. It's fallen off on the floor. So we pop that back. The bottom ones are okay as well, which is good because they sometimes break, and I have in the past glued them back on, bonded them on when everything else on the radiator has been okay, except for that. That little mark in the radiator is nothing much. It's not worth worrying about. It's certainly not worth putting a new radiator on for that. The only thing that I will be putting on that's new, although it's okay and it can be straightened, I'm going to put a new front top crash bar on, because it's just got that kink in it. And I will, as I say, at my leisure at some point. I still haven't sunk an anchor in the ground here. I bought it ages ago, last year sometime, and I've never got round to actually putting it into the ground, because I could use that with my porta power, because I've got the pulling thing for my porta power as well as the pushing thing, and I could pull that out, and I will do that at some point in the future. I certainly won't be scrapping that, that's for sure. And I have got a new one in the back of the garage. I've had a while, so I will swap them over. Apart from that, it's all okay. Chassis legs, as we know, are all perfectly fine, perfectly straight. Tips are okay. Both sides, obviously, this side is not affected whatsoever. So it was more. Well, it was more in the middle, really, wasn't it? Yeah. The only thing that's a little bit dented. Well, I'm not going to worry too much about it. It's pushed up. I might try and straighten it out with a hammer a little bit. It's not too bad. Just it's pushed up a little kink in the heat shield. That's all. Nothing spectacular. But apart from that, all looks good. One thing it has done, which is a bit annoying, is although it's not broken the box itself, it's broken the fastening bits on it. Again, I have got a new one, so I will put a new one on. Yeah, but again, I will repair this one. This can be bonded. That doesn't need to be replaced. I'll put it on an older car, basically, is what I'm saying. Is because this is a newer car, I'll put newer parts on rather than repaired parts. Yeah, good so far. I've got, so the front panel that I'm putting on is an old front panel. I'm not sure what year it's from. I think it's from a 2012. And I'm just going to put them side by side, because there was some debate as to whether they were different or not, and they're not. I haven't compared the two, but what I do know is they are the same. There is some very, very slight differences, but I say there's slight differences. I'll put them side by side now, and you can have a look, and I'll show you. Right, so this is the one I'm putting on. So this has got a condenser, which does hold gas, despite the look of it, and a good radiator. I'm taking those off, and I'm going to use the one we've already got. Now, as you can see, if you look at that, I'm looking at it now. Every single hole in the old radiator, in the old panel, is exactly the same place as the new one. Even the holes that take these are even on there. Now that wasn't used on the old ones. So whether they're used on, I don't know, a turbo or something, I don't know. I don't know why they're on this panel, but they're used for that. And everything, literally everything, is exactly the same. Oh, actually, I've seen a difference. The shape of that hole there is a different shape. Apart from that, yeah, that's it. One's bigger than the other. Now, I don't think that's going to make any, no, that won't make any difference, because all that does is go over the top chassis leg. So there's no reason for that. Oh, so there is a very, very minuscule difference. That's it. The size of that hole there. You've got a square hole there, and you've got a round hole there. So I don't know why that's different, but it is. Yeah, I wonder why that is. Strange. It's nothing to do with the tow hook, because the tow hook screws into the bottom bar. So there's nothing to do with that. So that is the only difference. So obviously same on this side as well. Oh, actually no, it's the same on this side. Oh, that's weird. Look, small one on this side, big one, small one. I wonder why that is. How strange. It's probably just to say, yeah, it's a different part. It's different. But as you can see, that is physically the only part that's different. Every single hole, even the holes that aren't used, the ones that are used on a twin air or a turbo for the intercooler, holes are there, holes are there. It's the same. Okay, so debate over. Now, someone did pipe up and say they're different, and I did answer and said they were referring me to another video, and that video was a channel called Bike Nut, and I recommend you go and have a look at that, because Bike Nut has just done a hybrid, a 2021 car. It's the first hybrid that I've seen on YouTube being repaired. He made a cracking job of it as well, and he bought a front panel from an older one, and of course didn't fit, and he had to drill lots of holes and put lots of riv nuts in, which is a pain. But that was the one they were referring to. The reason that was different is because it's a hybrid, completely different engine. That's the only reason. Right, okay, so I've just I spotted some stains on the front of that radiator, and so I've just run it up to temperature. I've had it running for about 20 minutes just to make sure that radiator wasn't leaking, and it started to dry off. I think the reason was because we've had a lot of heavy rain the last few days, and that part of the bumper was all split, and I think the rain's just got in and made it wet, so it looked like it was leaking, but it's not. So it's full with coolant. That is just a stain. So I've taken everything off. What I forgot to mention, which I actually forgot myself, to be fair, even though I wasn't going to use it anyway, this radiator is this was a 1.4. Sorry, I'm viewing it upside down. This is a 1.4, so that's a radiator that will fit in our bath, or a 1.4. So I might as well. I thought to myself, shall I keep it or shall I flog it? And I think I will keep it. I don't know if those fans are different on the 1.4. I think it might well be, actually. I've got a feeling they might be bigger. Not sure. I mean, obviously we know it's a different fan. It's only a single speed fan on the pop when you've got no aircon, but I'm not sure whether these fans are bigger than the 1.2 fan or not. It does say on there 1.4, so it might be. So I'm going to keep that, because when I do an our bath next, or not necessarily next, but I do intend to get our baths in the not too distant future, it might be I might need one, so I thought I might as well keep it. Oops. I'll just put it down in the shed down the bottom of the garden. So I've cleaned that up. Now it almost looks like a new one, doesn't it? So yeah, I've taken all the bits off of it. I've taken the horn off of it. I've taken the bonnet catch off of it. Obviously I've left the tabs. This also, because it was a 1.4, it also had an under tray, so it had the brackets for the under tray. So they are a little bit on the rusty side, but I've kept them with the bolts for future reference. I might need them. Probably give them a good clean up, wire brush them or something, and yeah, get them cleaned up. They might come in useful at some point in the future. So I think what I'm going to do now, I'm going to set you up on time lapse, and we are going to look. There's not even any fluid in it. I suppose I ought to fill that up first, shouldn't I? Make sure it doesn't leak before I put it all back together, because it'll be a lot easier to. I think she was just. Did she ever put anything in this apart from petrol? It does make you wonder, doesn't it? But it's clearly been serviced. I mean, look at that. Look at that oil filter. That looks new. And when we get the air filter out, we'll see what it is. I had a thought about the air filter, because the back of it is okay. Sorry, because the front of it, oh, actually it's not. It's split. I thought the front of it was okay. Now again, we could plastic weld that. So I won't throw that away, because again, on a really old car that I happen to do, or maybe on a van or something like that uses them. No, they don't use those on vans, do they? But at some point I could plastic weld that from the inside and you'd never know. So I will keep it. I'm not going to throw it away. If I do a really old car and it's on a budget, or if someone needs one and they're on a budget, you know, I've got it, I can use it. So I will repair it from the inside, but not use it on this car. I'd say I bought two recently. I got one for the pink car, Glam Coral car, and one for this, well, not one for this car, but it looks like I'm going to be using it now. Yeah, we'll do that. That's good. I didn't think it had broken that. That's a bit of a nuisance. Never mind. Never mind. So yeah, set you up in time lapse. Let's get this front panel on. And yeah, once we've got all this front panel all buttoned up, I'm not expecting it to the bonnet to close or anything like that. But if it does, that's a bonus. I need to straighten up that little end bit there. We'll tap that down with a hammer just to get that straight with a bit of wood underneath it. We will obviously take that wing has got to come off. Wouldn't necessarily do that today. It depends if we have time or not, but I might do it today. Haven't got the wing yet. It's coming from our friends at Club 500 Italia. I think it was posted Friday, I think. So probably be within the next couple of days, I expect. Yeah, right, let's do it. Let's get on. That's the bottom one on. Now, if you remember in the past, a few times, primarily on, was it Project BFG, where that bar was bent and I put a new one on, but it was the bumper that wasn't clearing it. I don't know if for you regular viewers you remember, I'm sure. And we came to the conclusion, or I came to the conclusion, that the tolerance between that bar being high enough to allow that bumper to slide underneath quite snugly is quite a high tolerance. And the way I got round it was, apart from the fact I put a new bar on, is when I put it on, I lifted the bar, before I did the first nut up tight on each side, I lifted it as high as it would go. And that will give it enough clearance. I mean, it's only, we're talking maybe, I don't know, 10, 15 mil, something like that. Maybe a little bit more, I'm not sure, but it was enough for it to comfortably slide underneath, because that's when you start getting some of those problems where the bumper meets the wing, because the bumper isn't sitting properly and it doesn't sit properly around the headlights, and that a lot of that problem is all to do, with that bottom bar. So I've done that straight away from the outset. Whether that'll work or not, I don't know. So, as I said, I'm not gonna throw that away, but I'm gonna keep it and I will straighten it. But for this car, I have got a new one in the back of the garage, so I'm gonna go and get that and put that on. It's all wrapped up still. I've had it ages. Really not. One other thing I wanted to show you. Unfortunately, when we got this out, we saw. Let me put it up here so we can show you properly. Look at that. Destroyed. So yeah, I guess the corner of the bar, the panel has gone into it, so it's completely broken. I mean, the light, as far as I know, the light works, but of course it's going to get full of moisture. It's all plastic broken, so I can't use that. So unfortunately, apart from bits and pieces off of it, it's of no use. It is of no use. Shame. I mean, it's broken there as well. Look. It's absolutely no good. So I'll cut the cables off with the plugs and what have you. They may come in handy at some point in the future. But apart from that, it's fit for the bin. Okay, I just wanted to point out a little mistake that I made on the front panel. The reason that hole is bigger on here was because, little do I know, that on the pre-facelift, this has got a hole in it, and this is where the tow bar, the towing eye cover goes, and you screw your tow ring into there. On these, it's on here. See, it goes into that hole there. And that fits into that hole. Now, it does fit into that hole. The only problem is, when I was offering it up, the studs that sit either side, like that one, are not in the right place, and you can't get it on. So what I've done is I've ground both off. I'll put some black paint, matte black paint over it, just to protect it. And I haven't. The reason I didn't use the new one that I said I had is because it's not a front panel, it's a red rear one, not a front one at all. So unfortunately, yeah, I'm putting this one back on. I may end up putting the thing in the floor and pulling it out, or failing that, I'll get a new one, get a facelift one. But yeah, I never knew that. I never realised that. Now I know. That's the only difference. Just so we know. So yeah, I'm going to put this back on, and then I haven't got a bumper to put on, unfortunately, because it's not coming till Wednesday. I have had a confirmation that it is coming Wednesday. So I think once we've done that, we'll see how the bonnet closes. Once we've got all this back together, and go from there. I have got a new light. It needs a couple of brackets on it, but I bought a second-hand light for not a bad price. Can't remember what it was, but it was a pretty good price, which is why I snapped it up, even though it needs a couple of brackets. Yeah, so and I think the other side needs brackets as well. So I got brackets for both sides. I bought another set, so we'll do those as well. We'll get those done, and then we'll get that wing off as well. But I'll probably, whether I'll do all of it in this video or not, I don't know. Probably not, actually. We'll probably go into the next video. But yeah, I just wanted to explain to you that is the only difference on the front panel. Right, excuse the wind. So it's all bolted up. I've got, yeah, all the bolts are done up. I've put that on. The only thing I need to put on is the horn, which I've lost the bolt for. No, here it is. Let's just quickly put that on. Where's it go? Let's plug it back in to start with. Actually, is this different on these? I think it might be, actually. I think the horn position might be different. I can see the yeah, they are. Can you believe it? Doesn't matter. Yeah, I'll have to have a think about that one. I'll put the other put a different horn on, because I think the one other slight difference in the front panel. So I'm hoping that this closes now. I'm hoping. Let's try it. All those bolts, no, they're not done up very tight. Let's just do them up a little bit tighter first. Excuse my back. Actually, I'm going to loosen them off first, this side, because I don't think I pulled it. I always like to try and pull it forward maximum. Right, that's maximum forward. That's my starting point. Whether that's right or not, I don't know. This is always, as many of you know, this is my least favourite job. Well, actually, I've got quite a few least favourite jobs. In fact, sometimes I question why I do this at all, because I've got so many least favourite jobs. But yeah, no, I really don't like this bonnet business. Right, let's try it. Oh wow, look at that, it fits. I say it fits. That's well out, but it actually closes. Wow. Obviously it needs some major adjustment. Major adjustment. Actually, it's got to go that way. Yeah, it's got to go that way quite a bit. But that's fine. At least it closes, which means it's at the right height. And although if I take you off of there, although that is unequal, it's equally unequal. No, let's get that right. Although that gap is massive, and it clearly needs to come this way, it is equal. So that means, I don't know what it means. That means, I mean, this wing's coming off anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so I mean, this is overhanging here, so it's quite clearly got to go the other way. So we'll do that. I'd sort of like to get that in the position before I take that wing off, because if I get it in position, although of course that wing may have moved, this one presumably hasn't. So I'm not going to film me doing this because I've done it before and it's extremely boring, and I'll just come back in and tell you once I've done it. But I would sort of quite like to get it roughly in the right place. As I've explained to you before as well, it's always a good idea to test shut the bonnet before you've put anything else on, i.e. no headlights, because if That bonnet, although that bonnet closes, if I get the headlights in and for some reason that front panel is too high and the headlights get in the way and it doesn't close, you know it's because you've put the headlights in. So it's sort of one stage at a time. So once you've done actually before you do the headlights, although I haven't got one, putting a bumper on and then closing it and seeing what your gap's like at the front, backwards and forwards and side to side. But of course I haven't got a bumper till Wednesday. So I'm just pleased that it actually closed. Mind you, having said that, is it going to open? Let's try it, shall we? Touch wood. I'm not touching wood. Let me go and touch some wood. Where's some wood? It's painted wood. Touch wood. I've never had a bonnet that wouldn't open. Oh my God, look at those seats. Ugh. Oh, you've noticed I've cleared it out as well. You may have noticed. Oh, we'll come back to something else in a minute as well. I wanted to quickly go through with you, one thing at a time. Oh yeah, it opens nicely. So that bonnet catch was, again, my starting point is as high as it goes. That's my starting point. And it's doing it really nicely. So it's nice and centred. It's sort of, you know, by eye in the centre, the catch is, and it shuts lovely. So that's a good start, I think. So we just need to try and move it over a little bit. Well, quite a lot. It's just trial and error, isn't it? It's move it, test it, move it, test it, until you can get it as best as you can. As I say, the wing has got to come off. I haven't got the wing yet, so that'll be a job for Friday, which will come in the next video. So I think we're done for this video for the time being. Right, we're going to call it a day on this. I think it's literally, actually, it's just starting to rain. So that's not a bad bit of progress, I don't think, for the first day. Considering I've been out and got tyres and what have you as well. Did I show you the tyres? I think I did. Actually, I showed them. I didn't have the mic on, did I? So I've had to do some speaking over for that. So I apologise for that. But yeah, I'm getting wet now. So I'm going to have a go at doing those headlights. So we'll continue. The next video will be on Sunday. I will be doing this on Friday, weather permitting, of course. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it so far. Let me know what you think. Don't forget, if you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to the channel, and also importantly, please give us a thumbs up. Until the next one, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you very soon.